What if the key to a fulfilling life lies in the way you start your day? In this video, we'll explore how the foundation of a perfect morning can shape not just your day, but your entire life. There are critical mistakes many of us make the moment we wake up, and today, I'll share the 13 most important habits you need to avoid. The last one might surprise you. But first, let me share a thought-provoking story that captures the essence of today's lesson. Imagine two friends, Alex and Sophia. Both start their day differently. Alex wakes up early, takes time to center his mind through meditation, and nourishes himself with quiet reading and a wholesome breakfast. Sophia, however, snoozes her alarm, immediately checks her phone, and rushes through her morning with little regard for balance. A year later, their lives tell two completely different stories. Alex finds himself thriving. His work flourishes, his health improves, and his relationships deepen. Sophia, meanwhile, feels like she's barely keeping up, stressed and stuck in place. The lesson? The way you begin your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. As Marcus Aurelius once said, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive. But beyond just waking up, it's about how we embrace that privilege. Your mornings are sacred, and the small decisions you make in those first moments can determine whether your day will be victorious or chaotic. The Stoics believed that discipline starts the moment you open your eyes. And while you don't have to rise at the break of dawn, it's essential to avoid these 13 pitfalls that can sabotage your potential from the moment you wake. If you're ready to transform your mornings and, ultimately, your life, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Rise Up and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Let's grow together through the wisdom of Stoicism. Number 1. The traitorous phone mistake. Imagine this. You wake up, and before even greeting the day, your hand reaches instinctively for your phone. Sound familiar? It turns out this common habit is more than just a time killer. It's like inviting a thief into your morning to steal your energy and productivity. By doing this, you're handing over control of your mind to an overwhelming flood of information before your brain has even had a chance to wake up and form its own thoughts. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, often mispronounced as Epictetor, once said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgment about things." And he was absolutely right. When you check your phone the moment you wake up, you're not giving yourself time to form your own perspective. Instead, you're letting the opinions, judgments, and demands of others flood your mind, hijacking your thoughts before you've had a chance to say, "Good morning." And this isn't just philosophical wisdom. A study from the University of Texas found that the mere presence of your phone, even when it's off, reduces your cognitive abilities. Just think about what happens when the first thing you see in the morning is a stream of notifications. 50 unread messages on WhatsApp, emails piling up. It's like starting the day under siege. But that's not the worst of it. According to psychologist Adam Alter, checking your phone upon waking spikes your cortisol levels, the stress hormone. It's like jolting your body with anxiety right as you open your eyes. What a way to say good morning to your nervous system, right? Now don't panic, there's hope. I have a fun and effective way to break this habit. Ready? Instead of reaching for your phone, try reaching for a book. I know, it sounds a bit old-fashioned, but hear me out. Bill Gates, one of the most successful men in the world, dedicates at least 1 hour every morning to reading. Not emails, not social media, but actual books. He describes it as a mental workout, preparing his mind for the challenges ahead. And if reading first thing in the morning doesn't appeal to you, here's an even bolder idea. How about reaching for the floor instead? Yes, you heard me right. Start your day with 10 push-ups. I promise you'll feel more awake than you ever would with any notification, and you'll set the tone for the day by feeling strong and accomplished, like a superhero. As Seneca wisely said, it's not that we have little time, but that we waste much of it. And boy, do we waste a lot of it with our phones. Imagine gaining back that time from the very moment you wake up. Changing this habit may seem difficult at first, and that's normal. Habits, especially ones as ingrained as checking your phone first thing in the morning, can be tough to break. But think of it as an experiment. Give yourself just 1 week to try out this new routine and see how you feel by the end. I bet you'll notice a significant difference in your energy and mental clarity. And if you still struggle, remember the wise words of psychologist William James. The greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. Changing this simple morning habit could be the first step toward transforming not just your mornings, but your entire approach to the day. Your phone is a tool, not your master. Try keeping it away from your bed, perhaps in another room. And if you rely on it as an alarm, consider investing in a traditional alarm clock. Your mind will thank you. Number 2, the snooze alarm trap. I'm sure many of you can relate to this scenario. The alarm goes off, and you think, just 5 more minutes, only to suddenly find yourself rushing to get ready because you're late. Don't worry, you're not alone. Even successful people like Mark Zuckerberg have admitted to struggling with this habit. But let's be honest, hitting the snooze button is like trying to cheat time. And time always wins. Each time you delay that annoying sound, you're not just giving yourself extra sleep, you're disrupting your natural sleep cycle. It's like giving your brain a jolt right when it's trying to wake up. The result? You wake up groggier than if you had just gotten up when the alarm first rang. Imagine your body as a train gaining momentum. Every time you hit snooze, it's like pulling the emergency brake, forcing the train to stop and start all over again. Sound familiar? That groggy, sluggish feeling as you finally roll out of bed. But not all is lost. If comedian Jerry Seinfeld could overcome his alarm addiction, so can you. Seinfeld once shared that he used to set multiple alarms, only to turn them all off in his sleep. His solution was simple yet effective. He placed the alarm clock across the room, forcing himself to get up and turn it off. Once on his feet, there was no going back. Now, the Stoics didn't have digital alarm clocks, but they had something even more powerful: mental discipline. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, famously wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, have this thought ready: I rise to do the work of a human being." Imagine waking up every morning with that purpose. Doesn't that sound better than the familiar 5 more minutes? Don't worry, you don't need to be a Roman emperor to improve your mornings. Here are some practical techniques inspired by Stoic discipline to help you break free from the snooze trap. 1. The purpose technique. Before going to sleep, think of something you're excited to do the next day. It could be as simple as enjoying your morning coffee or working on a personal project. When the alarm goes off, remember that purpose. It'll give you a reason to get up. 2. The visualization trick. Vividly imagine how you'll feel if you get up immediately versus if you hit snooze. Which version of yourself would you rather be, the one who seizes the day or the one who struggles to get out of bed? 3. The public commitment strategy. Make a pact with a friend or family member. Agree to send them a message every morning when you wake up at the set time. The fear of disappointing others can be a surprisingly strong motivator. 4. The reward method. Prepare a small reward for yourself right after waking up. It could be listening to your favorite song, having a fresh juice, or reading for a few minutes. Associating waking up with something enjoyable can help change the narrative. 5. The countdown tactic. When the alarm goes off, count down from 3. When you reach 1, get up without thinking twice. This small mental ritual can give you the extra push you need. Remember, the goal isn't to torture yourself every morning. It's about creating a habit that, over time, feels natural and makes you feel better. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your principles, put them into action." So how about we start tomorrow? Give these methods a try, and you'll soon find yourself rising with purpose, ready to embrace the day with energy and clarity. Number 3, the breakfast that's sabotaging you. Have you ever wondered if your breakfast might be sabotaging your day? It sounds surprising, but the first meal you eat could be setting you up for a day of low energy and exhaustion. Let's take a closer look at the breakfast choices that may be silently draining you. Imagine this. You wake up and prepare what you believe is a healthy, nutritious breakfast. But by mid-morning, you feel as though you've been run over by a truck. Sound familiar? You're not alone. Many of us fall into the trap of eating breakfasts that promise energy, but actually leave us more tired than before. Let's talk about the villains on your table disguised as heroes. First, we have sugary cereal, the kind that claims to be packed with vitamins and minerals, but in reality is just a sugar bomb waiting to explode. You get a quick burst of energy, followed by a crash that makes you feel worse than before. Then there's white bread, the silent saboteur. Spread with jam, it might seem harmless, but in reality, you're consuming simple carbs that convert to sugar rapidly, like putting low-grade fuel in a race car. And don't forget those light yogurts filled with artificial sweeteners. They promise to be low in calories but end up confusing your body, leading to cravings later in the day. But don't worry, it's not all bad news. Science offers us insights on how to improve our breakfast choices. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that a protein-rich breakfast can help control appetite and reduce cravings throughout the day. This means you could feel more satisfied and energized all the way until lunchtime. Another study from the University of Missouri discovered that consuming at least 35 grams of protein at breakfast helped regulate blood sugar levels and reduced food intake for the rest of the day. It's fascinating, isn't it? How something as simple as altering your breakfast can have such a big impact. Now you might be asking, what should I eat then? Don't worry, I've got some suggestions that would make even a modern Stoic philosopher proud. Let's start with eggs. They're an excellent source of protein and nutrients, and you can prepare them in countless ways, scrambled, boiled, or as an omelette. Pair them with avocado, and you're adding healthy fats to keep your brain functioning at full capacity. Another great option is plain Greek yogurt, free from added sugars, mixed with fruit and nuts. The fruit gives you fiber and antioxidants, while the nuts provide protein and healthy fats. It's like giving your body a team of superheroes to kickstart the day. If you prefer something savory, how about whole grain toast topped with smoked salmon and a bit of cream cheese? The whole grain toast delivers complex carbs that release energy slowly, while the salmon is packed with omega-3 fatty acids. The cream cheese adds a nice touch of protein and flavor to round it out. And here's an interesting tidbit. Did you know that Ryan Holiday, one of the most well-known modern Stoic philosophers, has his own favorite breakfast? It's a simple mix of oatmeal, banana, peanut butter, and a bit of honey. Nutritious, straightforward, and packed with energy, Holiday himself might say it's the perfect fuel to tackle the day with Stoic strength. Speaking of Stoicism, isn't there something deeply Stoic about caring for what we eat? Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Choosing a healthy breakfast is a perfect example of exercising control over what we can. It's about making deliberate choices that strengthen both the body and the mind. So the next time you sit down for breakfast, remember, you're not just filling your stomach, you're preparing yourself for the challenges of the day ahead. Choose wisely, and you'll notice the difference, not just in your energy, but in your focus and resilience. Number 4, the morning news trap. Imagine this, you wake up, grab your phone, and the first thing you see is a flood of headlines, crises, conflicts, catastrophes. How do you think that affects your mood? Turns out, it's more impactful than you might imagine. A study found that just 14 minutes of exposure to negative news can increase levels of anxiety and sadness by 2%. And that's before you've even had your first sip of coffee. But it's not just your emotions at stake. Starting the day with a barrage of negativity can impair your productivity and decision-making throughout the day. It's like stepping into a race with weights strapped to your ankles. Why make things harder on yourself? Now, am I saying you should live in a bubble of blissful ignorance? Of course not. The Stoics, those wise philosophers of antiquity, had plenty to say about how to manage the flow of information. Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not be troubled. Everything proceeds according to the nature of the universe." What did he mean by this? Essentially, we can't control what happens in the world, but we can control how we react to it. Part of that reaction is choosing when and how we consume information. So what should we do? Disconnect completely from the world? Of course not. The key is balance. Here are some strategies to stay informed without compromising your mental well-being. 1. Set a news schedule. Pick a specific time of day to catch up on the news, perhaps during lunch or after work. This allows you to start your morning with a clear mind and finish your day informed, without the weight of the world hanging over you at dawn. 2. Use news aggregators. Apps like Flipboard or Feedly let you customize your news feed. You can balance hard news with more positive, inspiring stories, giving you a broader and more optimistic perspective on the world. 3. Practice a news fast. Once a week, disconnect from the news completely. Use that time to read a book, meditate, or simply be present with your loved ones. It's a reset button for your mind. 4. Seek constructive news sources. There are websites and podcasts that focus on positive news and global solutions. Give the good happening in the world a chance to shape your perspective. 5. Reflect before reacting. When you come across disturbing news, take a moment to breathe and ask yourself, can I do something about this? And how can I use this information constructively? This mindful approach helps you process information without being overwhelmed. The goal here isn't ignorance. It's managing information in a way that keeps you informed and mentally balanced. As psychologist and author Steven Pinker pointed out, progress doesn't make headlines, but it's there in the statistics. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves that despite everything, the world is improving in many ways. So, tomorrow, when you wake up, instead of diving headfirst into the sea of news, why not start your day with something that uplifts you? You could read a motivational quote, listen to a song that lifts your spirits, or simply take a few minutes to appreciate the good things in your life. Before we move on to the 5th mistake, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. And if you enjoy this type of content as much as I do, comment below with "I love learning." Let's keep learning together and improving our lives. Number 5. The messy bed mistake. Have you ever thought that making your bed is a waste of time? Well, get ready to be surprised, because this simple habit could be the key to unlocking the success you've been searching for. Imagine this. You wake up, look at your messy bed, and think, why bother making it if I'm just going to mess it up again tonight? Sounds logical, right? But it turns out that this small decision might be sabotaging your entire day. A recent study from Princeton University found something fascinating. People who make their beds every morning are 19% more likely to report better productivity and job satisfaction. Incredible, right? But there's more. Retired Admiral William H. McRaven explains it perfectly in his book, Make Your Bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride and encourage you to do another task and another and another. It's a chain reaction of productivity that starts with the simplest of actions. But it's not just about getting things done. A tidy room is like an oasis of calm amidst the daily chaos. Think about it. Don't you feel more relaxed in a clean, organized space? It's as if your external environment mirrors your internal mental state. Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher, once said, "Begin the day by putting your room in order, and you'll find it easier to put the rest of your life in order." He was right. A tidy room is not just a clean physical space. It's a reflection of a disciplined, organized mind. Let me tell you the story of Maria, a single mother working 2 jobs, barely finding time to breathe. One day she heard about this bed-making trick and decided to give it a try. At first, it seemed trivial to her, but after a week, she noticed something curious. She felt more in control of her life. That small act of discipline each morning gave her the confidence to tackle bigger tasks. She started arriving on time for work, planning her meals better, and even found time to resume her studies. It all began with a simple, well-made bed. Now I get it. Nobody has the time to become an expert in sheet folding. So here's a quick and fun trick to make your bed in less than a minute. 1. Grab the comforter and shake it out vigorously. 2. Let it fall over the bed as flat as possible. 3. Smooth it out quickly with your hands, like patting down a big dog. 4. Place the pillows where they belong, and you're done. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about creating a positive habit. And while you're at it, why not take it a step further? Open the curtains and let in some natural light. Studies show that exposure to morning sunlight helps regulate our circadian rhythm, improving both our sleep and mood. Ventilate your room for a few minutes. The fresh air not only eliminates odors, but can also boost your concentration and productivity. It's like giving your brain a fresh dose of energy, but without the caffeine. As the Stoic Epictetus taught, beginning the day with order sets the stage for a more structured, fulfilling life. Think of your room as the backstage of your life. If the backstage is a mess, how can you expect to give a great performance on the stage of your daily life? So tomorrow, when your alarm goes off, remember, this small act of making your bed could be the first step toward a more organized, productive, and satisfying life. Number 6, the cold shower trap. You've probably heard it before. A cold shower in the morning is the secret to starting your day full of energy. It's one of those tips that's been repeated so many times, it almost feels like an unwritten law of morning routines. But what if I told you it's not as simple as it seems? Let's dive into the icy waters of this morning myth. First, let's set the record straight. Cold showers aren't some form of torture invented by fitness gurus. They do have real benefits. Studies have shown that cold showers can increase alertness, improve circulation, and even boost the immune system. Sounds fantastic, right? But before you rush to turn that knob to full cold, there are some things you need to consider. For some people, the shock of cold water can be overwhelming. Imagine waking up from a deep sleep and being hit by freezing water. It's like getting slapped by Mother Nature herself. For some, this sudden jolt can spike blood pressure and heart rate, which isn't ideal, especially if you have heart problems or are dealing with stress or depression. Not everyone reacts to cold the same way. Some people feel energized, while others just want to crawl back into bed and forget the day ever started. It's a bit like trying wasabi for the first time, thinking it will be like mustard. Some love it, while others swear they'll never touch it again. But don't worry, there's a middle ground. Instead of diving headfirst into the Arctic waters, why not take a more gradual approach? Start your shower with warm water and slowly lower the temperature. Think of it like easing into a pool. First you dip a foot, then the other, and before you know it, you're swimming. This technique, known as thermal contrast, offers the best of both worlds. You get the benefits of cold water without the initial shock. Plus, alternating between hot and cold water can improve circulation even more than cold water alone. Even the famous athlete Wim Hof, known as the Iceman for his cold exposure techniques, recommends starting gradually. As he once said, it's not about suffering, it's about adapting. Wise words from a man who can sit on ice for hours. On the other hand, the Stoic philosopher Seneca had an interesting perspective on discomfort and resilience. He said, "It's hard for a man to be struck by misfortune if he has practiced against its blows." While Seneca probably wasn't thinking about cold showers, his message about voluntarily facing discomfort fits perfectly here. Cold showers can be a way to practice resilience, to toughen yourself mentally and physically. If you decide to give cold showers a try, here are a few tips to ease into the practice. 1. Start small. Begin with just 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your regular shower. 2. Breathe deeply. While under the cold water, focus on deep, steady breaths to help you stay calm. 3. Focus on the benefits. Remind yourself of the energy boost, improved circulation, and mental clarity you're gaining, not the discomfort you're feeling. 4. Gradually increase time. As you get used to it, slowly increase the amount of time you spend under the cold water. 5. Listen to your body. If at any point you feel dizzy or too uncomfortable, switch back to warm water. Remember, the key is finding what works for you. Some people swear by their morning cold showers, while others prefer a gentler start to the day. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, and as with many Stoic practices, it's about finding the balance between comfort and challenge that strengthens you in the long run. Number 7. The immediate caffeine mistake. Have you ever wondered why you still feel like a zombie even after your morning dose of coffee? Believe it or not, having coffee right when you wake up might be sabotaging your day. Yes, you read that right. This sacred ritual for many could actually be counterproductive. Here's why. Our bodies naturally produce cortisol, a stress hormone that helps wake us up, and this process peaks between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. When we drink coffee immediately after waking, we interfere with this natural cycle. It's like trying to push a car that's already running. unnecessary and potentially harmful. According to Dr. Stephen Miller, a neuroscientist at the University of Michigan, consuming caffeine when cortisol levels are at their highest can lead to a higher tolerance for caffeine. This means you'll need more coffee over time to feel the same effect, like shouting louder in an already noisy room. But don't worry, coffee lovers, I'm not suggesting you give up your favorite drink. The trick is to delay your caffeine intake. Synchronizing your coffee with times when cortisol levels naturally dip can make a huge difference. This usually happens between 9:30 a.m. and 11:30 a.m., the perfect window for your coffee fix. And speaking of routines, did you know that Apple CEO Tim Cook has a surprising morning routine that doesn't include immediate coffee? He wakes up at 3:45 a.m., yes, that early, checks his emails, but delays his coffee until he gets to the office. Several hours after waking up, he's still managing to power through his morning before his first sip of coffee. Imagine what you could achieve if you weren't relying on coffee to function the moment you open your eyes. If the thought of facing the morning without caffeine feels like a Herculean task, similar to Sisyphus pushing a rock uphill for eternity, don't worry. Start your day with some light stretches or a quick workout instead. The Stoics were strong advocates for taking care of the body as a vehicle for the soul. Just a few minutes of yoga or push-ups can work wonders in waking up both your body and mind, giving you that natural energy boost. And if you're thinking, without my coffee, I'm not a person, here's a simple trick to help you out. Replace your morning coffee with a glass of water with lemon. It's refreshing, rehydrates you after a night of sleep, and the citric acid provides a small boost to start your day. Plus, it's a natural way to cleanse your digestive system. The Stoics would definitely approve of this healthy and mindful choice, as it aligns with their philosophy of caring for the body in simple, natural ways. So, before you reach for that morning coffee, consider the Stoic approach. Start your day by taking care of your body and mind first. You might find that you don't need that caffeine jolt as urgently as you thought. Number 8, the morning task trap. What if I told you that the skill of multitasking, which many of us pride ourselves on, is actually our worst enemy? Yes, you heard that right. That feeling of being super productive, answering emails, getting dressed, and planning your day all at once is actually an illusion. Imagine your brain as a highway. When you try to do several things at once, it's like creating a mental traffic jam. Each task is a car trying to speed ahead, but in the end, they all get stuck. The result? You take longer to complete each task, and the quality of your work suffers. A study from Stanford University revealed something surprising. People who believe they are excellent at multitasking are actually the worst at it. It's as if the brain plays a cruel joke, making us think we are productivity superheroes, when in reality, we are sabotaging our own performance. But don't worry, you're not alone in this. Even great geniuses throughout history have fallen into the multitasking trap. Leonardo da Vinci is said to have had so many projects going at once that many remained unfinished. Imagine if he had focused all his energy on completing the Mona Lisa without jumping between other projects. How much more could have been achieved with that kind of focus? What would the Stoics say about our modern obsession with doing 1,000 things at once? They'd probably laugh and remind us of the importance of concentration and being present in the moment. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the last." It's hard to live like that if you're trying to check your phone while having breakfast, isn't it? So, how can we escape this morning trap? Here's a simple technique inspired by Stoic meditation practices. 1. The present moment technique. Each morning, choose one task to start your day. It could be something as simple as making your coffee or taking a shower. 2. Focus completely on that task. Engage all your senses. Smell the coffee, listen to the sound of the water, and immerse yourself in the experience. 3. Acknowledge distractions. If your mind begins to wander to other tasks or concerns, acknowledge it without judgment and gently bring your attention back to the present task. 4. Repeat the process for each task. Perform each task sequentially, fully focusing on one at a time. This practice will not only improve your efficiency, but also reduce stress and increase your sense of control over the day. Think of it like being a gourmet chef. You don't prepare all the dishes at once. Instead, you focus on one, perfect it, and then move on to the next. Your morning should be the same, a sequence of well-executed moments, not a chaotic jumble of overlapping tasks. Remember, the goal is not to do more but to do better. As Seneca wisely said, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. So the next time you feel tempted to check your emails while brushing your teeth, ask yourself, am I really saving time, or am I just creating a traffic jam in my mind? Number 9. Skipping exposure to natural light. Have you ever noticed how plants lean towards the light? Well, we're not so different. Natural light is like a cup of coffee for our bodies without the energy crash that follows. Renowned psychologist Andrew Huberman, a neuroscience expert, recommends getting 10 to 20 minutes of natural light exposure right after waking up. According to him, this can improve your mood, increase your energy, and even help you sleep better at night. Who knew that the key to a good night's sleep could be found in daylight? Now I know what you're thinking, but I don't have a garden or even a balcony. Don't worry, the solution is simpler than you think. You can open a window and soak up some sunlight while having your morning coffee, or even better, take a short walk. It's like killing two birds with one stone, light exercise and a dose of natural light. Your body will thank you. And if you live in a place where the sun seems to be on permanent vacation, don't despair. Even on cloudy days, natural light is much more potent than artificial light. It's like comparing a 60-watt light bulb to a stadium floodlight. But be careful not to confuse this with sunbathing. We're not talking about roasting yourself like a toast. It's about brief and moderate exposure. Think of it as saying good morning to your body, not preparing for a tanning competition. The ancient Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, didn't have scientific studies, but they understood the importance of connecting with nature. He wrote, "Live in harmony with nature." He might not have known why, but he sensed that there was something special about that daily connection with the natural world. So tomorrow when you wake up, don't hide under the covers. Give your body the light exposure it needs. It's like giving your internal clock a hug. And who knows, you might find that you're more of a morning person than you thought. Number 10. The trap of starting the day without a clear goal. Have you ever woken up feeling like a ship drifting aimlessly at sea? That sense of not knowing where you're headed can derail your day before it even begins. Imagine you're an archer. Would you shoot your arrow without a clear target? So why start your day without a defined goal? As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, no wind is favorable for those who do not know to what port they sail. Without a clear destination, even the best opportunities can slip through your fingers. But don't worry, you don't need a detailed 5-year plan every morning. It's about having a direction, a purpose for your day. Think of it as your day's GPS. Without it, you might go around in circles, ending up exhausted, but without having achieved anything meaningful. Even the great Steve Jobs had a morning routine that emphasized the importance of clarity. Each morning, he would look in the mirror and ask himself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I'm about to do today? If the answer was no for too many days in a row, he knew he needed to change something. Now, you don't need to be a tech genius to apply this principle in your life. We can simplify it. Each morning, before getting out of bed, ask yourself, what is the most important thing I can do today? It might be something big, like making significant progress on a project, or something small, like reaching out to a friend in need. The key is to be specific. Being productive isn't a clear goal, but finishing the report for the 3 p.m. meeting is. It's the difference between saying, I want to go north, and saying, I want to reach that specific mountain. A study from the University of California found that people who set clear goals in the morning are 42% more likely to achieve their daily objectives. Surprising, right? But it makes sense. It's like preparing a map before embarking on a journey. Knowing where you're going makes all the difference. However, don't confuse having a clear goal with overloading yourself. It's not about creating an endless to-do list. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus summed it up perfectly. Focus on what is within your control. Choose 1 or 2 important tasks and concentrate on those. Simplicity is often the path to real productivity. And if you're struggling to decide on your goal, here's a helpful trick. Before going to sleep, write down your top priority for the next day. That way, when you wake up, your mission is already set. It's like leaving a message for your future self, a simple but powerful tool to keep you focused and on track. Number 11. The mistake of ignoring gratitude. Figures like Oprah Winfrey have made gratitude a cornerstone of their daily habits. Oprah has often shared that starting her day by giving thanks for just 5 things has completely transformed her perspective. The first thing I do in the morning is give thanks, she says, even if it's just for the sheets. Will Smith, the charismatic actor, is also an advocate of morning gratitude. In an interview, he revealed that waking up with a sense of gratitude makes the day unfold very differently for him. But before you think this is just advice from wealthy celebrities, let's look at the real benefits of practicing gratitude. Science backs what Stoics and modern influencers have known for centuries. A study from the University of California found that people who regularly practice gratitude experience significant improvements in both mental and physical well-being. So, what does this have to do with your morning routine? Imagine your brain as an engine. Gratitude is the oil that keeps it running smoothly all day. Without it, you're more likely to get stuck in negative thoughts, become easily irritated, or feel overwhelmed. Marcus Aurelius reflected on gratitude in his Meditations, noting, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Gratitude, then, is not just a nice feeling, it's a way of shaping your entire mindset for the day. The best part? Practicing gratitude is easier than doing push-ups and probably more effective for setting a positive tone. Here's a quick and powerful exercise to get started. 1. Upon waking. As soon as you wake up, before even getting out of bed, think of 3 things you're grateful for. These can be as simple as having a roof over your head or the warmth of your blankets. 2. Feel the gratitude. As you think about these things, don't just list them off. Try to really feel the gratitude. For example, don't just say, "I'm thankful for my coffee," but savor the aroma, the warmth, and the comfort it brings. 3. Start with the basics. If you find it hard to come up with things to be grateful for, start with the basics, your senses. Be thankful for your ability to see, hear, touch, smell, and taste. It might seem obvious, but when you take a moment to think about it, it's quite extraordinary. 4. Share your gratitude. If you live with someone, share one of your gratitudes with them. It's a positive, contagious habit that can uplift not only your mood but theirs as well. The trick to gratitude, like many Stoic practices, is consistency. Gratitude is like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. Seneca understood this well, saying, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." By cultivating this mindset, you set yourself up for greater resilience and joy throughout the day. Here's an interesting bonus. A study from the University of Miami found that people who practice gratitude regularly also sleep better. So in a way, being grateful today helps you have a better tomorrow. It's like a self-reinforcing superpower. Gratitude enhances both the present and the future. Number 12. The trap of overplanning. Have you ever felt like your day is falling apart before it even starts? You wake up with the best intentions, ready to conquer the world, only to find yourself caught in a web of plans and endless to-do lists. It's like your mind is a garden, and overplanning is akin to planting too many seeds in a small space. Initially, it seems like a great idea. The more plants, the better, right? But soon, you realize the plants compete for nutrients, choke each other out, and none grow as they should. This is exactly how overplanning works in your mind. Psychologist Barry Schwartz explains this perfectly in his theory of the paradox of choice. According to Schwartz, having too many options, or in this case, too many plans, doesn't make us happier or more productive. In fact, it paralyzes us and creates anxiety. It's like being faced with a menu offering 100 options. Rather than feeling lucky for the variety, we become overwhelmed and unsure of what to choose. So what would the Stoics say about this? Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, had a simple yet profound perspective. Do not be disturbed. Simplify your life. It sounds straightforward, but it's a deep lesson on how to approach our days. The Stoics understood something fundamental. There are things we can control and things we cannot. Overplanning is, in a way, a desperate attempt to control the uncontrollable. It's like trying to predict every raindrop in a storm. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. So how do we find balance? How can we plan without falling into extreme rigidity? Here are some strategies that might help. 1. The 1-3-5 rule. Choose 1 big task, 3 medium tasks, and 5 small tasks for your day. This gives you structure without overwhelming you. 2. Second block time for the unexpected. Leave blank spaces in your schedule. Life has a funny way of throwing surprises at us, doesn't it? 3. Prioritize, don't maximize. As Seneca said, it's not that we have too little time, but that we waste a lot of it. Focus on what's truly important rather than trying to do it all. 4. The if-then technique. Instead of rigid plans, create conditional plans. If X happens, then I will do Y. This allows for flexibility without losing direction. 5. Practice retrospective planning. At the end of the day, review what worked and what didn't. Adjust your approach for the next day based on real experience, not unrealistic expectations. Remember, the key isn't to have the perfect plan, it's to be able to adapt gracefully to whatever life throws your way. As boxer Mike Tyson once said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Life is that punch, and our ability to adjust is what really matters. Think of your daily plan like a roadmap for a road trip. It's helpful to have a general route, but if you encounter an interesting detour or an unexpected traffic jam, wouldn't it be a shame to miss the adventure by sticking too rigidly to the original plan? Flexibility is key, not perfection. Number 13. Don't forget to smile upon waking up. Have you ever noticed how a simple smile can completely transform your day? Well, my friends, we've reached the final but perhaps the most powerful tip on our list. Imagine this. Your alarm goes off, you open your eyes, and the first thing you do is frown. What a way to start the day, right? But what if, instead of that, you drew a big smile on your face? Now, we're not talking about faking happiness. This is about cultivating a genuinely positive attitude. And yes, I know what you're thinking. How can I smile when I feel like a zombie just waking up? Here's the trick. Even a forced smile can trick your brain into improving your mood. In fact, a study published in Psychological Science found that the simple act of smiling can reduce stress and make you feel happier, even if you're not particularly cheerful at the moment. It's as if your brain says, hey, we're smiling, so there must be something good happening. But don't just take my word for it. Let's do a little experiment. Here's a challenge. Smile. Yes, right now. I know you can do it. No half-hearted smirks. Let's see those teeth. Perfect. Now keep that smile on your face until the end of this video. I promise you'll feel better by the time it's over. And here's the best part. It's not just about you. Your smile has the power to spread to others. Imagine the impact you could have on your family, your coworkers, or even a stranger you pass on the street. A smile is like a boomerang of good vibes. You send it out, and it always comes back to you. As the philosopher Thich Nhat Hanh beautifully put it, sometimes your joy is the source of your smile. But sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy. So why not start each morning by being that source of joy? Here's a small challenge for tomorrow morning. When your alarm goes off, before doing anything else, smile. Yes, that's it. Smile as if you've just remembered the funniest joke in the world. Hold that smile for at least 10 seconds and notice how you feel afterward. So, in addition to avoiding immediate caffeine, frantic multitasking, and all the other morning mistakes we've discussed, make sure to add a good dose of smiling to your morning routine. It's free, has no side effects, and might just be the secret ingredient to transforming your mornings, and maybe even your entire life. But remember, a perfect morning often starts the night before. As Seneca once said, prepare today for the dangers of tomorrow. So tonight, go to bed early, lay out your clothes, and visualize a successful wake-up. Small changes in your mornings can transform your whole life. Are you ready to start tomorrow with a smile? And there you have it. 13 powerful ways to transform your mornings and ultimately your life. From avoiding the immediate caffeine mistake to embracing the simplicity of gratitude and a genuine smile upon waking, these small changes can set the tone for a more productive, focused, and fulfilling day. The Stoics taught us the importance of mindfulness, control, and purpose in everything we do, and these morning habits reflect those timeless principles. Remember, your mornings aren't just the beginning of the day. They're the foundation for how the rest of your day unfolds. As Marcus Aurelius said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By starting your mornings with clarity, discipline, and positivity, you're setting yourself up for success, one day at a time. Now I challenge you. Pick just one tip from this video and try it out tomorrow. Whether it's smiling as soon as you wake up, focusing on one clear goal, or avoiding that tempting snooze button, these small shifts can have a big impact. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more content on Stoicism and personal growth. And let me know in the comments which morning habit you'll be trying out first. Thank you for watching, and as the Stoics remind us, control what you can, let go of what you can't, and start your day with purpose.